What's happening?
Davy VTV, Davy V with you. It's been 3 weeks since a mass shooting in Rochester, New York's Maplewood Park left two young black women dead and injured five others. So I get a lot of flack, I get a lot of hate mail for basically standing up and calling it what it is. If you know about me, about my passion for years, whether it's standing up to police abuse, police misconduct, police brutality, or whether it's calling out the hypocrisies that also exist within these movements like Black Lives Matter and the former pimps and drug dealers turned pastors and reverends who are quick to get out on the street and get in front of the camera whenever there's a tragedy and get their little 15 seconds of fame, and then are nowhere to be seen or heard from again until the next tragedy. I'm always going to call that out. And for some reason, maybe it's just me, right? I feel that after I get all the hate for basically just keeping it real, like we used to say, right? I'm old school. Or to use the newer, more modern term that younger people use, keeping it 100, keeping it a buck. Whatever you choose to call it, I'm always going to give it to you raw, no filter, and I'm going to always call it like it is. And again, maybe it's me, but I always feel like I have to put almost like, call it like credentials out there, right? So some quick facts. I'm Latino. I was raised in a predominantly black neighborhood and Puerto Rican, but I hung out mostly in black neighborhood on the west side. Raised in Ghost Town, for those of you familiar from Rochester, Ghost Town, specifically Child, J Street area. But spent a lot of time mainly with Rochester's like black community. You know what I mean? Girlfriends were black. Most of my friends were black. And as an adult, I had black and Latino children, right? I'm Latino and I had children who are African American and Latino. And again, I don't have to explain myself. I don't even have to talk about that. But for some reason, I feel like I have to because of all the hate mail and the threats and everything that I've gotten over the years for simply standing up and calling it what it is. And as somebody who had a close firsthand look at the black community, especially here in Rochester, New York, but it's basically the same thing across the country, there are some serious issues that no one wants to talk about, right? The news media, obviously they won't even dare go close to that like I do and call it out, call it what it is, right? They won't even dare do it. They won't even question like, hey, wait a minute, what's really going on in the black community? They don't dare. Like I always say, they don't have the cojones, right? Law enforcement officials, they also won't dare do it. Are you kidding me? Never. You'll never see a police chief in the Rochester, New York area or anywhere in the country really stand up there in the podium, right, in a press conference and really call it what it is. Really say there's a serious problem in the black community, which black folks should be absolutely embarrassed and ashamed of themselves. You're looking at a video of a mass shooting where two young women died, two young black women, innocent women, according to Rochester, New York Police Chief David Smith, innocent women who went to the park for a cookout. And yet one of the most disturbing, disgusting things within black communities across the country, not just in Rochester, New York, but we're talking about my hometown now, Rochester, New York, is that there's this no snitching code. And that no snitching code is actually, as we speak, as I'm making this video, protecting killers who had no regard, no respect for human life and who opened fire on, crowds of folks having a good time and doing a barbecue at Maplewood Park 3 weeks ago today, as of the making of this video. So again, I'm always going to call it like it is. The fact that people would go against that and would threaten me and send hate mail and hate messages and post bad comments, putting me down is actually fuels my passion even more to call it what it is. Because, for example, somebody just put a message there saying, oh, your titles to your videos are misleading. The black community is not really supporting killers. Of course they are. You can lie to yourself and believe that they're not, but they are. When more than 100 people, like Chief David Smith of the RPD said, were at the park, someone knows who the killers are. And I don't care what you say. You can say that shit to yourself. You can lie to yourself. But I don't care what you say. It's not going to change the fact that Rochester, New York's black community is supporting killers, harboring killers because of this disgusting, disturbing, sick, twisted, no snitch code, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy, makes no sense, and it's absolutely disgusting that these individuals were cold-blooded killers, killed 2 innocent young women, injured 5 others, and that as I speak to you, as I'm making this video, they are loose in the community, free and roaming the streets. It is absolutely disgusting. So again, you could lie to yourself, and I'm speaking to the haters here, and believe that, it's not true, but it is true. Rochester, New York's black community, as the black community throughout the country, is protecting killers. In fact, that's the number one reason why police and law enforcement cannot solve cases, because there's no cooperation because of the no snitch code. So again, keep lying to yourself, and I'm going to keep doing my thing on my platform, Davy VTV, and I'm always going to call it like it is. And it is disgusting. As always, thank you for watching Davy V TV.